Hey guys, this is Hell Hades, free to play. Guys, I've got some sad news for the free to play account. We're calling it a day. We're going to put this one into the dirt. I'm actually going to do a giveaway on my free to play account this Sunday on stream. So be there if you want to have a chance of winning this account. I want to talk through why I'm ditching 2022, what's coming next, and I'm also going to do a bit of a showcase of some of my highlight kind of bits and bobs on this account before we kind of pass it over to somebody else to kind of love and nurture it. So let's start with the why. It's got to the point, again, a bit like last year, where it plays more like a kind of mid to end game account. Yeah, and that means it just takes up a ton of time. And it also means that I don't have as much content to show people on the account, which isn't just kind of similar to my main account. And at that point, it's like I'm playing an account which is taking up a lot of my time, but I'm not really giving you guys the benefit of what I'm doing on it. And that's really why I do these accounts. I don't need to run 2 accounts for my life. I run 2 accounts because I try and show people relevant stuff to help them learn the game, develop in the game, have more fun playing the game. That's what the free-to-plays are about. It's not about me wanting to run multiple accounts. Okay, so for me, the free-to-play, I've got to the point where, yeah, I beat up Ultra Nightmare Clan Boss every day easily. I beat up Hydra. I beat up the normal Doom Tower in full. I can hold my own in kind of like Gold 3, Gold 4 arena. I can do all of the dungeons at stage 24, 25. And the only thing really left to do is push hard Doom Tower or push faction crypts. Yeah, and this just takes a long time to go from where I am now to Lydia, really for very low engagement around the account. All of a sudden it'd be like, you know, a month later, oh, by the way, I'm showing you another faction crypt. It's just not enough to warrant the amount of time that you spend playing the game when I'm trying to do content for you every day. So, unfortunately, it's going in the dirt. There's 2 reasons, really. One, I want to have a bit of a break before we then go again, 2023, with a new account. And the new accounts really help people that are coming into the game. I find them a lot of fun. Those first kind of 3-4 months of playing accounts really fun. What pulls am I getting? How do I utilize those champions to kind of get into my teams? So that part of it, I think, is just more fun, more engaging anyway. But we will have another one going next year, but I'm going to have a little bit of a break. The other reason why I'm having a little bit of a break is because I've got a new game. It's another kind of hero collector. I'm going to do a video on it tomorrow. I think it's probably the closest or the best version of this style of game, which has actually done a rival raid. And I really have enjoyed it. I've been playing it for about the last week. I've really enjoyed playing it on a beta test, and I'm going to be showing you a video on that, and you guys can kind of get involved and play alongside me if you want to on that game. I will be streaming it as well on Wednesday. Yeah, so if you want to come and have a real first-hand feel, I'm thinking I might actually just start a brand new account for Wednesday for people that want to play alongside me. So watch out for that video. But yeah, let's have a bit of a showcase, a bit of a look through, maybe a little cheeky 10 pull here. I'm going to show you some of my highlight areas, I guess, for where I've got to in 2022 on this free-to-play. And it's definitely not what's going on right now. Yowza. Useless. Okay, so yeah, we managed to do in 2022, we got Ultimate Death Knight for free. We got Deliana for free. We did the Walking Tomb Drang fusion, the Gaius fusion, the Helicath fusion. I also got Drexar for free through the Bazaar. And then I had some legendary pulls. My most recent one is actually Elva Autumnborn, who I've not even kind of showcased yet. I got Kira the Watcher as a pull. I got Killian as a pull, Astrolith as a pull, and Tyrant recently as a pull. So in almost a year, I'm about to get Visix on the account. So I'm about 270 odd days in. In that much time, I've actually got a lot of champions that can really help my account. And most of them are for free. Most of them have just been from grinding the game. I have got a Seer in the mix. I have got some very good epics, in fairness. Venomage has been a hard carry. Geo more recently has been a more recent carry. And I've got a kind of funky arena team going with the bomb champions, which I thought would be quite fun to build out. I'd say my biggest kind of letdown really was Armina. I thought she was weak, certainly until you get more stun champions. I feel like she's quite weak. It's been my biggest regret in terms of putting a lot of resources into her. And then more recently, I've pulled kind of better versions like a Tyrell here. But yeah, generally, good epics. Didn't really get a lot of legendaries along the way other than free ones, which I went and got myself. In terms of some builds, I've been rocking the Poison Ultimate Death Knight build to do solo content. I'll show you those runs. Walking Tomb Dreng, and a lot of my champions actually are in clan boss focused builds, which also just work in other areas of the game. Yeah, so a lot of these champions, the speeds, the crit, the accuracy is all focused on beating up the clan boss, 2 key in Ultra Nightmare every day, and then utilizing those same builds in other content. Let's show you a couple of my dungeon runs. They're not necessarily quick. In fact, maybe I don't show you in full because they're not quick. But I'll show you the kind of thing that I've been doing. 2 manning, Ice Golem, so that we get food champions in the other 3 spots. Yeah. And we're able to grind food. I could do it solo, but it's just so slow. But having a burner alongside my Ultimate Death Knight is where I've been at with this. I won't show you the run in full, but basically we throw 3 food champions in the mix and away we go. And all they do is between them, we've got the Toxic gear on Ultimate Death Knight. We've got the burns coming in from the Dreng, but this could be another burner as well. Doesn't need to be him. In fact, he's weak affinity here, so he's not necessarily the best, but he just kind of was my only one that I had available to build out, and I got him for free, so it worked out well. They've both got level 1 Brimstone on them, so it gives me a bit of extra damage, and it's just like that. Sit back, go make lunch, farm up some levels, and then that will get me through any of the fusion stuff that I'm doing, and that's pretty much the only time I'm in here is when there's a fusion running. I'll let this one play through, you'll see the time, and then we'll jump onto another team. So you can see here, done in like 5 odd minutes, between 5 and 6 minutes basically. We got a bit of experience for our champions. We got a piece of gear, which is trash, and we got a few points towards the Ice Golem type of stuff. And then basically we do the same type of setup in Dragon. So the same double act, again, a burner and an Ultimate Death Knight is working well for me. If you've got, you know, a decent solo champion like one of the poisons I showed in a video recently, then sure, throw them in the mix. Or if you just want to speed it up, then you can throw in another good champion like a Venom Mage here, would just kind of make my runs quicker, but still it gives me that ability to throw in a couple of food champions. Normally I would do 3 food champions like this, but if we want it to be quicker, we'll do 2. And yeah, you're basically just grinding up really useful stuff at the same time as farming gear and doing tournaments. So again, I'll show you the time on my Dragon team. So you can see here, again, pretty decent time. The more champions you throw into the mix to do damage and stuff, the faster it will go. The less you've got, the slower it goes, but the more champions you're leveling up. So it's kind of that weighing up what you want to do, really. So we're farming 24 on Spider. The way this team works is quite cool, actually. It's a reasonable speed farm. I could put someone in here for a bit more, perhaps stunnage or something, but basically what we do is we speed up. We get shieldage from my Ultimate Death Knight. I get a bit of damage away from my Apothecary before we get Turn Me to drop and burn on the main boss with Geo. That way, anytime anyone hits someone on my team, the damage goes to Ultimate Death Knight. There's a chance for the Geo's passive to proc. And we then get the AoE HP burn for Walking Tomb, meaning anytime a Spiderling moves, we get the burn damage from the Walking Tomb as well. So you see here, they're aiming at various champs. Ultimate Death Knight's taking all of that damage. We're just kind of like cycling back through our abilities. Ultimate Death Knight drops, but it's given us enough time to get our kind of work done. Does get a reset. It's fine. It's expected. We can't do too much about that unless I just had a much faster Armiger or Apothecary kind of cycling my abilities better. But we've still got now enough time to get the job done. A fresh burn comes out so that when they move again, we get going again. Apothecary is trying to keep people alive as best as he can. And now all of the damage comes from the Walking Tomb Burns. So it ends up being something like a 1.5 minute run. It looks kind of ropey, but it's not ropey. It's 100% team. And bam, job done, 1 minute 28. Most of the damage from Walking Tomb, but plenty of damage from Geo as well. So if we check out my arena team then, basically I've got a bomb exploder. I need to be careful of cleansers or silly shenanigans like that, really. So I'm just looking for straight kind of damage dealing opponents. I've got a speed lead. I don't really need that, but an increased attack if I get to go first, and therefore I just kind of blow people up. And if I don't get to go first, they blow themselves up. As long as they don't have a way of kind of cleansing off the bombs here. If my team die first, then I win. If their team die first, then I win. So it's pretty fun. It's one that's been around for a while, but it just felt like the champions were falling in the right way for me to be able to do it, which is quite cool. You do need to be just a bit careful with this type of team, who you face. You need to understand what your team's kind of potential is. Also, I guess actually something like Stone Skin probably just hard counters it. But I am quite slow, which normally means that they take a turn before... actually, bombs do go on the Stone Skin there. See that? I lost, but I won. So, yeah, interesting, actually. Oh, of course, bombs go on Stone Skin. Of course they do. Don't have to be careful of Stone Skin at all. What am I saying? But yeah, the arena team was actually quite a fun one to build, just because it was something a bit different that you don't normally see. You do need to have high accuracy and high attack on any of these bomb champions to make it work. And I guess, yeah, with stuff like block damage and cleansers, you just got to be a bit careful because you can end up just ruining your own day. But normally, because I've got so many ways of doing it, normally I still end up coming through, winning, at least at this type of level, as I work my way back into gold. And, yeah, get the job done. But, yeah, you see this? It's kind of like cleanse. She ended up ruining my day. Walked through her bombs, no problem. So there are definitely some losses involved. But it was a fun arena team to build and kind of enabled me to punch up. And I was able to hold kind of bronze for push towards silver in 3v3 quite comfortably, really without trying to push for it at all, just getting it done. My clan boss team is a 2-key Ultra Nightmare every day, getting myself fat old rewards every day, topping up my shards, and doing all that good stuff. So basically we're 2-key in here with a Helicath team. Very easy to do. Helicath plus 4 other damage dealers. Doesn't matter who they are. And you can build yourself this team very comfortably. I've got a video all about that, so I'm not going to show it in this one. But it does mean that my shard count just grew and grew and grew. 162 Ancients, 42 Voids. I just pulled like, I don't know, 7 or so Sacreds at the weekend. So yeah, shard count became very easy once I was a bit picky with some fusions and I had that Helicath team in play. So Helicath has just been like a major MVP for me in terms of pulls. And Hydra, I'm just kind of like, have I done it already this week? Just like easy 1-key in Hydra every week. I don't think I've done it yet, have I? No. So basically, I mean, I've got a mixture of good champions that I can use, but pretty much using my burners, using people with kind of healing abilities, and most of my damage just comes from burns. So yeah, basically punched on through all of the content to a decent level without having to super invest loads more time in terms of gear farming, builds, that type of stuff. Let's just see what I've got sitting around. 53 3-star chickens, a couple of 4-stars, not too much more. I've still got 10 legendary books. Even though I've kind of fully booked now my new champion, Elva, and I've booked champions to the level that I want on others in terms of the legendaries. I've got 17 epic books sitting there as well. But that is going to be the end of 2022 free-to-play in terms of Hell Hades, and we're going to do some more when we get into a new year with a fresh start. Hope you've enjoyed the series this year. I'll catch you later.